Dude, I hate the morals of big companies, man, and I might accidentally switch subjects here, but
no, I want to get into that too.
Yeah.
Dude, I think big companies they're just the worst, and it sucks because the whole point of a business, right? The whole point of a business is to find a problem, solve it, and then just make the money off of that, right? Like that's how businesses work, right? Mm-hmm. But the big companies solve the problem, and then they don't necessarily care about anything else but money. As soon as once they get like big, they lose all of the like their morals. Like it's all just about money, right? So these big companies like Activision are all they do is they sell the game, right? They know that you're going to buy the game because there's no one else to compete with them currently, and then they do things on the side to make more money. Like there's so much out there, and I haven't like dug too deep into it, but there's so much like rumors and things out there that like for instance, Activision sold the software. They were selling the software, the codes to cheat the game, to do the hacking. They were the ones that were feeding all of these companies the stuff because they were just making more money off of it. They're like, might as well, listen, if I can make money here, I can make money here too, right? Let it get out of hand for a little bit. They'll say that they went in and have an anti-cheat, and then they'll just turn around and resell, whatever the next cheat is.
Right.
Right.
So why would they do that? That's the question. Why would they do that if that's going to fuck up their product?
See, the thing is, I think is they like I was gonna say, it would be cool if I said earlier, it would be cool if they put an ear out and just listen to us, right? I think they do hear us, but it's one of those things, like you said, they know we're gonna come by the next one, undeniable. Like, yeah, 2K24 might just have LeBron with his new haircut, but you're gonna buy it. You know what I mean? Because there's a new animation too. So, and the soundtrack is popping, and you have the new shoes, right? The
graphics are a little bit better.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't think they pull out the changes that the community has been asking for until there is another threat. The changes that they need to make to push the product forward, they always have it in their back pocket, and they don't break the glass until they're threatened, or like, let's say some controversial, let's say like a Balenciaga thing happened, where they have to really save face and do a positive publicity stunt to change the narrative. Then they'll, oh, Balenciaga finally listened and took the straps out, some shit like that. You know what I mean?
That's true.
At the end, I call it the Apple iPhone effect. Like,
oh yeah, dude, they're the worst.
They started it. You know what I mean? And it works. And if at the end of the day, if it's all about money, you just trust that your consumers are zombies until they wake up.
Yeah.
And you kind of ignore them until enough of them wake up to where they're not really making enough that as much money as they were, or enough money to sustain what they've become. So they make the changes then, and they make the changes so minimally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. So
it's funny that you brought up Apple too, because Apple's one of the companies that do that same thing, dude. I think Apple's the worst too. You know what the crappy part is? I have an iPhone.
Me too, bro.
It's like, dude, it sucks because like they really, dude, the new iPhones don't change. The new ones have not changed. They have not changed for like six updates.
You just got another camera lens.
And dude, I got 3. What do you?
I do miss the fingerprint one. I missed that one.
Oh yeah.
Too bad they just took our fingerprints and
sold it to China.
They did something with that
so fucking sketch, bro.
Dude, and it's the same concept. Like they'll release like the new update. They know that everyone's gonna buy it, right? The new update, right? The new phone. And then they don't fix like the real issues with the software or the update, and they'll put out like new updates on the phones. They'll put new updates out, but it doesn't fix the stuff that everybody's having issues with. Right, until a new one comes along, right, and then they'll fix the old one, and then now we have a new update that we got to deal with, and it mind boggles me, dude, because we have the technology that's out there is insane. For people who don't think that they're like, there are some people who are just mind numb and they don't think that, oh, well, maybe they just don't have the ability to fix it. Like, you're an idiot, dude. The amount of like the technology that's out there, they have there are robots that like can shoot and tell the difference between a human being and like a target. Like, have you seen those videos? Right?
I saw the what's called the Boston Dynamic robots. You know, the dog robots. I saw someone put a machine gun turret on them, and that fucking terrified me, bro.
Dude, but you see what I'm saying? You see the amount of technology that's out there. We can put on the moon. We can put people are going to Mars soon. Like the amount of technologies out there. You can't fix my iPhone, dude. Like,
no, yeah, because they don't want to give you a perfect one. They want you to buy the next one. Like, oh, we fixed it for this one, you know. And it's funny because I always go, you know, like when you're online, you see them dropping the new iPhone, and the comments are always like Android users and fucking iPhone users arguing over the best phone. I'm like, man, why you guys arguing over a fucking phone? Like, it's so funny.
My thing is, so we know this, we hate it, right? We all have iPhone. Oh, Jermaine doesn't. We have iPhones. How the fuck? Like, I know we vote with our dollars, but like, what are we gonna go back to a fucking Motorola? Like,
yeah,
that's what it takes, though, right?
Like a razor.
That's really what it is.
Even then, like, what's 3 guys not buying iPhones anymore in the grand scheme of things? You know what I mean?
Not doing shit to them. Because at the end of the day, you got a MacBook.
Yeah, right.
You know,
or
you still
Apple
got
Watch. My
yeah. So I mean, that's why they don't give a fuck. You don't want their iPhone? That's cool. You're gonna buy something else that they got. Oh, here's a fucking new MacBook.
Dude, I'll tell you what, Apple won, man. They won. They figured out how to get into everything, man. They got TVs, laptops, watches,
streaming service now.
Streaming service. I think they're in aren't they getting into the metaverse now too? Like, they're everything, dude. Apple won. And you know what though? I think that, like, it's crazy to me. I don't really know too much about Steve Jobs, right? And I didn't really like know too much about that whole thing, but it seems to me like after Steve Jobs died, Apple like became this big like monster company, like monsteristic, and they were like I felt like Steve Jobs did a good job keeping it humble. You know what I mean? Not that they weren't, not that like Apple still wasn't like huge and like they were still like running things, but like it just felt like after Steve Jobs died, like Apple just became this like weird like monsteristic company that like didn't really care. And it's the same concept. Like, the big companies don't care. Big companies really don't care, man. They don't give a shit about us.
Bro, I said the same thing about Marvel and Stan Lee.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I feel like it takes that. Well, first of all, Stan Lee to Marvel, obviously, Marvel is Stan Lee's son, right? Just like we see Apple as Steve Jobs' son. So at the end of the day, it's what Steve Jobs and what Stan Lee says. But now that those figures are gone, I mean, like, these corporations, I feel like I was talking to my wife about this. They're almost like religions and cults and like their own kind of entity. You know what I mean? Have you guys seen the movie The Devil's Advocate?
Yes.